Operation Epic Fury.
Iran tried to squeeze the world through the Strait of Hormuz, and President Trump's team answered on two fronts at once. First, with forced to reopen the waterway. Second, with an economic counterpunch that could wreck the leverage Tehran thought it had. Now we're learning the UAE is breaking from the old oil cartel model. More supply is coming online, and the United States is pumping at record levels. Translation? While Iran lashes out like a cornered regime, America is moving to make their oil blackmail weaker by the day. The real bombshell? This looks less like chaos and more like a Trump strategy that's paying off. Now, this matters to you for a simple reason. Energy prices, they hit everything. Gas at the pump, groceries on the shelf, trucking costs, heating bills, the price of making and moving almost every product in this country. When a terror-backed regime tries to choke a major supply route, American families feel it fast. That's exactly why the Trump administration is refusing to let Iran hold the global economy hostage. Now, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says help is already on the way. He says the world is heading towards being awash in oil, with the UAE pumping more, OPEC increasing production, and the U.S. posting record crude deliveries. That is what America First leadership looks like. Not weakness, not apology tours, not begging foreign adversaries for mercy. Now, politically, this is huge. The same establishment crowd that mocked Trump's energy agenda is watching his team work both ends of the problem: reopen the route, expand supply, crush the price leverage. Iran wants panic, but Trump is building pressure in the other direction. And while the fight is about oil today, the next front in America's security battle is the minerals that power everything from weapon systems to manufacturing. This breaking news from the White House: they just announced over $30 billion to secure America's critical mineral supply chains and named a specific Alaskan project as a key strategic asset for U.S. mineral independence. I've been to the Vizsla copper drilling site myself. I've seen it with my own eyes. And what's happening right now is bigger than most people realize. President Trump just unveiled Project Vault, a $12 billion strategic mineral reserve designed to stockpile essential resources and keep America strong when foreign supply gets disrupted. That makes companies tied to domestic mineral development worth watching very closely. Now, Vizsla Copper, pay attention, trades in the U.S. under VCUFF, in Canada as VCU.V. If you want the full breakdown on why this story matters right now, check the exclusive briefing today. It's only for Next News viewers. It's linked below. Check it out before this gets a lot more attention. Because from oil lanes to mineral stockpiles, the Trump administration is making one thing clear: America is done outsourcing its survival. Now here's the part legacy media won't say out loud. Treasury Secretary Bessent didn't just call out Iran, he put China on notice too. He said China buys roughly 90% of Iran's oil, which means Beijing has been financing the world's top state sponsor of terrorism while pretending to be a neutral player. Bessent made it clear the U.S. is reopening the strait, so the question is simple: will China help stabilize the flow or keep bankrolling the chaos and own the fallout? Here he is. We have the National Energy Dominance Council Executive Director talking about independent and oil and gas companies' new errands.
Well, it was a great trip, huge celebration of the partnership that exists today, thanks to President Trump, between Venezuela and the United States. Look, President Trump is a man of action. He wants to see progress. He wants to see action take place. And you saw action and progress in three important sectors: transportation, the first daily flights back from the U.S. to Venezuela; energy, oil and gas. You saw three independent oil and gas companies, new entrants, signing deals with Venezuela. And on mining, you saw a huge landmark mining deal, the first of its kind, for gold, for coal into Venezuela. All of these are showing the tremendous progress in just a short period of time between the U.S. and Venezuela. That's exactly the kind of message we want to send to the world, that relationship is strong, that now you have flights going down there, so it's now employees, it's people interested in investing, it's people interested in being down there and seeing their family members coming down to Venezuela. There was a huge party in Miami of people interested in wanting to go down. And then even on top of that, American Airlines, on the very day of the first flight, they came out and announced they're going to do two trips a day now down to Venezuela. So the progress is happening at Trump speed. This would have taken months, if not years, to get to this point, and we're seeing it in a matter of weeks. That's Trump speed. That's the kind of stuff we're doing on our side, and you're seeing the same on the Venezuelan side.
So, Trump speed in action, new oil, gas, mining deals moving fast. Now, Treasury Secretary Bessent explains why the surge matters, saying the world is about to be awash in oil.
Would you say to the American consumer that help is on the way? You have it in mind.
Help is on the way as of today. The way to think about it is the market, because of the conflict around the Strait, is in deficit about 10 million barrels a day, between 8 and 10 million barrels a day right now. So every crude carrier that goes through has about 2 million barrels. So 4 or 5 crude carriers a day coming through of the pent-up demand. We think there are more than 150, 200 crude carriers that can come out. So I think the market's going to be very well supplied. The other thing, too, is I am confident on the other side of this, the world's going to be awash in oil. That the UAE has come out of OPEC. They're going to be pumping more. OPEC just announced that they're going to be pumping more. And the U.S. has record crude deliveries. We are the #1 energy superpower in the world, and we have never delivered so much crude.
We've never delivered so much crude. More is coming from the UAE, OPEC. Now, this next clip shows exactly how Tehran tried to wreck that plan by hitting the UAE's Fajouria terminal. Iran just kamikazed the global oil supply. As the U.S. launches Project Freedom to reopen the Strait, Bessent says we're reopening. Iran drone struck the UAE Fajouria terminal, the key bypass route. Iran just kamikazed the global oil supply. That's what they're saying. So Iran's play was simple. If leverage is dying, burn the escape route for everyone else. Next, Bessent turns the pressure on China, warning Beijing can squeeze Tehran or own the fallout.
My counterpart, the vice premier, and I have discussed it. And the New York Times story, like the New York Times, is always ridiculous. China always seeks an advantage. They seek an advantage in everything. They seek an advantage in the seating chart. So this isn't unusual. And let's see if China. Let's see them step up with some diplomacy and get the Iranians to open the Strait.
You said that twice now. Do you expect Beijing and President Xi to do something with regard to Iran?
Again, all I will say is Iran is the largest state sponsor of terrorism, and China has been buying 90% of their energy, so they are funding the largest state sponsor of terrorism. But more importantly, Iran, the threat of attacks from Iran has closed the Strait. We are reopening it, so I would urge the Chinese to join us in supporting this international operation. There are things moving through the UN that China and Russia have blocked.
So this is the aha moment. See, Iran thought shutting down a choke point would give it leverage, but Trump's team is turning that move into a trap. The United States is leading the effort to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. At the same time, more oil is coming from outside the old cartel structure. The UAE is pumping, OPEC pumping more, America delivering record crude, and on top of that, Trump's team is opening new channels with Venezuela in flights, oil, gas, gold, and coal. That means Iran's pressure play runs into a brutal reality. If supply expands elsewhere, their threat loses value. That's how you break an adversary without surrendering to it. You don't just answer the attack, you hollow out the leverage behind it. So, let's sum it up. Iran struck at the oil system out of desperation. China is being exposed for funding the regime, and President Trump's administration is responding like adults who actually understand power, military action to reopen the Strait, economic action to flood supply, and strategic deals to strengthen America's position. That's not random. That's America First policy in motion. See, the media, they want you distracted by the drama. Look at the result instead. More supply, more leverage for the United States, less room for terrorists and cartel-style manipulators to dictate your future. If you want more coverage the corporate press will never give you, share this video, leave a comment, subscribe right now. And yes or no, do you believe Trump's energy strategy is finally breaking Iran's grip on the market? And do this. Hundreds of patriots like you already have. Text raw feed to 844-840-4963. That's the secret number I've got set up just so you can beat the algorithm. You get direct updates, notifications YouTube never sends right to your phone from me. And check out the next news merch shelf below this video. Stay bold, stay informed, and keep fighting for the country that we love.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this. Share this now.